Hello everyone. Today we're talking to you guys about something that I've been asked so many times. So many people that are computer savvy to kind of beginner computer tech kind of people. And the question is, what is USB and what is the fastest USB that my computer supports? So USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. What that really means is it can put power through the line as well as data. So for things like a computer mouse, a computer keyboard, an iPod or an iPhone or many other devices, this is essential for you to get everything that's on your computer to that and back and forth really quickly. So a brief history on USB. USB 1.1 was released in August of 1998. Before this, it was very hard to use different types of stuff on your computer. So if you had a keyboard, for example, you had to use a PS2 adapter, you had to download lots of complicated software. So this made it very easy for you to have one cable that can go into any port on your computer that's USB and have one and take three or more different strands, so data, power, other things, and convert into one cable that is very effective at transferring data. So it came in a white plug, which I'm going to show you in a minute. It did have some bottleneck issues, that's why USB 2 was released, but that's later in this video. So bottleneck issues were that when data went through it, at the end it got bottlenecked and it slowed it down. So the top bandwidth was 12 megabytes per second, which in today's term is very slow. You could probably download a song at a second or so, maybe a bit less than that, so it's very slow. But the maximum cable length that it could shoot data and power through effectively, so the maximum effective range, was 9.9 feet or 2 meters.
This is what USB 1.1 will look like. White in the middle, and then white. So a white kind of inside part there, and then it had prongs just like this right there, just like prongs like that, that it transferred data and power over to power your devices if you had either a powered USB port or a powered USB port hub.
Then designers went back to the table and realized they could reinvent USB, so then it came along USB 2.0. USB 2.0 was released in 2001 with a max cable length of 16.4 feet or 5 meters of effective power and data distribution throughout the cable. This had a max data transmission speed of 480 megabytes per second, which is a lot faster than 12 megabytes per second, so they could put movies and other files through the USB faster than ever before. And this also reduced bottlenecks. Bottlenecks were pretty much no longer existent unless you were transferring large amounts of data through it.
So USB 2.0 still had the white inside, but it had more prongs and it was backwards compatible with USB 1.1. So it had more prongs, still more cable length, more data transmission speeds, but more prongs, but with the same white inside.
So designers went back to the table once again and created USB 3.0, which is today's highest speed, highest data transmission USB. It was introduced in 2008, but with a max cable length of 9.8 feet. So that was the maximum amount of cable that it could effectively transfer data and power. This was 5 gigabit speeds. This was needed when videos were bigger and they needed more speed and they needed just more speed and more power through it. And this has almost zero bottlenecks even when transferring huge videos.
This is an example of USB 3.0, blue connectors, a lot more pins, with usually blue cable but not always. As you can see here, there's more pins in there with a blue core and a black cable. So it's blue. So if you don't know if you have a USB 3.0 compliant computer, look, if it's blue, it means it's USB 3.0 compliant, and you can plug USB 2.0 or USB 3.0 right into your computer.
So now after I've told you all this, you're thinking, oh, why don't I go upgrade to USB 3.0 because it's more cool or better data transmission speeds? And the truth is if you have, like, say, a computer board mouse, you're not going to need that full speed. Only thing that's going to really need that full speed is if you're running large amounts of data back and forth, you're running video or pictures. Even pictures, you don't need that full speed. So if you're just running a basic keyboard, basic mouse, and that's about it, you're not going to need that full speed. So I suggest you keep what you have. Once USB 3.0 becomes more mainstream on all computers, then you upgrade, but you're not going to need that full speed right now if you're just running basic stuff. However, if you are running, say, a USB 3.0 Ethernet card with gigabit Ethernet, you're going to want that extra speed, so upgrade to USB 3.0. USB 3.0 hubs, a hub pretty much takes a signal and it branches it off. So if you need more USB 3.0 ports, get a hub or something like that. USB 2.0 hubs, again, split the signal so it's not as much speed, not as much power. That's something different. USB 1.0 was the first USB cable connector, but it did not succeed due to bottlenecks and other things that did not succeed. It wasn't fast enough and wasn't what the designers hoped for, so they had to go back to get USB 1.1.